From the night of June 20th through the early morning of June 21st, 2025, southern China witnessed one of the most intense localized flood disasters in years. A powerful upper-level trough and shear line system unleashed torrential rain across Guangxi-Zhuang Autonomous Region, overwhelming cities, crippling infrastructure, and triggering flash floods that paralyzed daily life within hours. The hardest-hit areas were Base, Hechi, and Luzhu, cities that turned into rivers overnight, their streets swallowed by brown floodwaters, and their people caught off guard by nature's sudden violence. The devastating rainstorm was not a simple summer downpour. It was the result of a synoptic-scale atmospheric disturbance, marked by a strong upper-level trough interacting with a low-level shear line, an especially volatile setup in China's monsoon season. Meteorological agencies had warned of extremely heavy rainfall exceeding 250 mm in localized regions, but the actual volume in some towns exceeded 300 millimeters in under 12 hours, far beyond the drainage capacity of most urban systems in the region. In rural mountain areas, runoff surged rapidly into downstream cities, creating sudden flash floods. Bay's city bore the full brunt of the deluge. Rainfall totals exceeded 200 meters overnight, collapsing embankments and overwhelming the drainage network within a matter of hours. Entire districts lost power as electrical substations flooded. Water levels in the Yujiang River rose dramatically, submerging riverside roads and inundating dozens of residential buildings. Videos from bays showed residents evacuating in waist-deep water, carrying children on their shoulders, as emergency crews struggled to reach them through submerged intersections. By dawn on June 21st, emergency alerts had been raised to level 2, the second highest in China's 4-tier disaster system. The city government declared a state of emergency, urging thousands to evacuate low-lying neighborhoods. Further north in Hechi, a mountainous region already prone to landslides, the rainstorm turned deadly. Continuous rainfall exceeding 220 mm loosened hillsides, triggering at least 5 major landslides across the area. In Tiannan County, a mudslide buried 2 homes, killing 3 residents and injuring several others. The Qinzhou-Hechi Expressway was blocked in multiple sections, isolating towns and cutting off rescue access for nearly 10 hours. Emergency workers worked through the night clearing debris with bulldozers, while soldiers used ropes and inflatable boats to rescue dozens of stranded villagers. Liuzhou, Guangxi's key industrial hub, saw over 260 mm of rainfall between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. on June 21st. Major avenues turned into fast-flowing streams, sweeping away vehicles and filling underground parking lots within minutes. The city's wastewater system collapsed, leading to dangerous overflows of untreated water in low-lying areas. At least 15 factories in the Liuzhou Economic Development Zone were forced to shut down, with some reporting losses of equipment and raw materials valued at tens of millions of yuan. The Liuzhou railway station suspended multiple departures due to track flooding and power supply failures. Officials dispatched over 600 firefighters and public service workers, deploying pumps, sandbags, and mobile lighting equipment to restore functionality to crucial roads and intersections. What made the situation especially severe was the complete saturation and failure of urban drainage infrastructure. Guangxi's older cities, many built decades ago with limited stormwater planning, were simply unprepared for this scale of rainfall in such a short period. Drainage systems backed up within the first 90 minutes of heavy rain. Retention basins overflowed rapidly, with several structural failures reported in stormwater culverts in Beizi and Liuzhou. Waterlogging persisted in urban areas for over 16 hours after the rain had stopped, indicating a full system breakdown. As floodwaters rose, local governments activated mass evacuation protocols. Over 75,000 residents were evacuated across the three cities. Mobile shelters were established in schools and community centers, offering food, dry clothing, and basic medical services. Emergency weather alerts were issued via WeChat, SMS, loudspeakers, and drones, in many cases, alerting citizens just 15 to 30 minutes before flash floods arrived. The Ministry of Emergency Management deployed specialized flood relief teams from nearby provinces, bringing in high-capacity pumps, inflatable rescue boats, and satellite communications equipment. Air reconnaissance units surveyed areas with blocked roads or collapsed bridges to identify isolated groups in need of urgent aid. The human cost of the Guangxi floods is still being calculated, but as of June 21st, at least 8 people are confirmed dead, with dozens injured. Over 12,000 homes have been damaged or destroyed. Hospitals report a sharp rise in respiratory illnesses, skin infections, and mental health distress, particularly among children and the elderly. Eyewitness videos show families escaping in the dark, wading through muddy water with flashlights or candles. Some describe the flood as coming like a wall of water crashing into their homes. "We heard the thunder, but we didn't expect this," said a shopkeeper in Liuzhou. "In just 20 minutes, my whole shop was underwater. The fridge, the register, all gone." The floods also caused serious environmental damage. Chemical storage sites near Liuzhou leaked unknown substances into storm drains. Environmental teams are testing for contamination. Massive agricultural losses are reported in surrounding countryside, where rice paddies and vegetable farms were submerged. Landslides in Hechi have destabilized hillsides, posing continued risk as further rain is forecasted. Initial economic assessments suggest direct damage exceeding 6 billion yuan, $830 million USD, a figure likely to rise as the full scale of losses becomes clear. Meteorologists point to this event as part of a broader trend of increasing extreme weather in southern China, worsened by climate change and rapid urbanization. The Pacific monsoon pattern has intensified in recent years, bringing heavier downpours in shorter time spans. Urban sprawl, especially in valley cities like Beizi and Liuzhou, has reduced natural flood buffers like forests, wetlands, and open land. Aging infrastructure, some built in the 1980s, cannot cope with modern rainfall intensities. Events like this are becoming the new normal, said one climate scientist. What used to be a once-in-a-decade flood is now a biannual crisis. As of June 21st afternoon, weather forecasters have issued further Level 3 flood alerts across southern China, warning that saturated ground and swollen rivers could trigger additional flash floods and landslides over the next 48 hours. Emergency crews are reinforcing levees and pumping stations around vulnerable lowlands in Guangzhou, Nanning, and Changsha. The Ministry of Water Resources is monitoring 26 high-risk river sections across southern provinces, including Guangxi, Hunan, and Jiangxi. Public health officials are preparing for possible outbreaks of waterborne disease, mobilizing mobile medical units and disinfectant stockpiles. The floods of June 20, 2025 will likely go down as one of the most destructive weather events to hit Guangxi in recent memory. It was a perfect storm, literally and figuratively, that exposed the fragile underbelly of cities under pressure from both climate extremes and rapid development. But amid the devastation, there are signs of resilience. Neighbors rescuing neighbors, firefighters working non-stop for 48 hours, doctors treating patients by flashlight. This disaster is a stark reminder. China must accelerate its adaptation strategies, not just in policy, but in concrete ground-level action. If it is to weather the storms that are no longer once in a lifetime, but increasingly once every season.
这地下车库，刚才那辆车已经全满了，整个地下车库都满掉了。